Good morning everyone. Today is a bit of a rainy start, but it'll get sunny in the afternoon, so I'm taking you along on morning chores today. We always start with the most loud animal on the homestead, meaning the pigs, because they are the most hungry in the morning. And then Miss Bay, who's hiding in the stable, she will start to moo if I don't hurry up. So those guys are first. Of course, you turn your bowl upside down. I mean, why use a football? Just turn it over, right? Pigs. Usually there's a head, and there she is. She's coming for her yum yum. Some nice hay. The feeder's on the other side. And she'll be occupied with her breakfast. And then we can go set up the paddock for the day. But first we need to feed the chickens and the duck. Hi Bay, the little ones being right there. They're waiting for me too. These are the little Sussex chicks. So let's go feed those. Hello babies. You want food? I'm teaching them to scratch, so they do have a small food bowl, but it's an open bowl. And I usually spread it out and dig holes, like, I don't know if you can see it, but that chick has dug quite a deep hole. And I do want them to learn to scratch and not eat just from a feeder. So let's fill up their bowl. Right. So this will keep them busy for a little while. Keep them scratching and busy. And yes, there's a dark colored one in there. Where is he? There it is. So these are all supposed to be white Columbia Sussex, but I think the father was a red one and leaked a red color like we call it, because there's a red one in there. And I've never had a red one because in our country it's not a like recognized color. It was from a breeder though, so I don't know, it might just get in, but I like it actually. At this point I think it's a female. I don't know why. Maybe when they get out of their egg it's like their head shape kind of tells me whether it's a male or a female, and that might sound strange, but 90% of the time I'm right. So hoping it's a female, because I do not have enough flocks to have another male here. But we'll see. We'll see how they turn out. Let them do their business for now. Check their water. I always give them 2 water bowls. One big one so they can gulp down as much as they like. And one of those baby drinking things. But I always kind of get the bedding in there and then they can't drink. So I'm making sure they always have 2 sources of water. So, filled up in the bucket a little bit. So let's head off. A couple of them are anxiously waiting for me to come and feed them. So they'll get more feed once they go out, but I have to clean out the rest of the cow stable, which goes on that mound. And when I'm finished, I'll release the chickens outside and they can free range for quite a lot of time. I'll probably even leave the door open at night because we don't really have predators here. I mean, there was a lot of fuss about we have 1 wolf in the whole country now that's settled in some nature reserve. But other than that, we might have a fox or 2, but they don't come here. I mean, I have 2 dogs and there are too many people around, so I haven't had a fox or a martyr attack, and they're not really that much of them. So with these chickens of this size and this rooster especially, I mean, he'll chase away cats and dogs, so I'm not really scared of foxes, and in summer when I have them out on pasture all the time, I have them in the eggmobile, so they're up and protected. So the next one we're going to visit, and this is the cow lane of yesterday, so I need to move it, are our little free-range bantam flock, which I don't think you've seen yet. This is Mr. Sparkles, the nice colored one, and he was a caged animal for a long time, and I could have him for $2, and he's just gorgeous, and he's been so great, so great. And then we have a hen that was given to us, that's the black one, and then here in front is a Serama Japanese Bantam cross, because Mr. Sparkles is a Japanese Bantam and her mother was a Serama who laid such creamy eggs. I've never had any better eggs than of that tiny little chicken. Unfortunately, she passed away at 8 years old, so this is her daughter from, I think, last fall. I'm very happy that I was able to hatch one of her eggs. So, yep. And over there we have 3 chickens. One is from our rooster of the flock we just went to, and a black mother, and the other 2 are her kids with another rooster that I had at the time. So the big chick from this one will move to the other flock, but I have to wait until the Sussex are a little bit bigger, otherwise he will get bullied by the very large chickens on his own. So as soon as the other chickens develop a little bit of feathers, I'm gonna introduce him to the Sussex, so he'll be the big and strong one and he doesn't get bullied. And then I'll separate the group into males and females, and I make one Sussex flock and one Sussex flock with him or her, and I'll put those with my layers. So I have one purebred Sussex flock and one Jersey Sussex flock. So that's the plan for this year. But they free range, but because of their size I do keep them in at night for cats and I don't know what else may pass by. And I usually move this structure once every few days. So I have to move it today because you can see most of the grass is gone. So I'm gonna move it. But first I'm gonna feed them and put the door open so they can get out. And they don't go anywhere. Sparkles will keep them on this property, because I don't have fences around this property right now. They're incredibly expensive. They will be done in the future, but anyway, these chickens won't go anywhere. Alright, so the door is open, they can get out. I need to refill their water bowl, and they have 2 water bowls in there as well, and as you can see they're both upside down right now, so that's a good start. So I clean them out, fill them up, and they're free to run. So they're really cute. As you can see, this isn't empty yet, so we have some feed for our 2 ducks and 1 chicken that is in our greenhouse hospital, so to speak. It's our injured rooster, Mr. Hubbard, which is Mr. Biggs' brother. But those guys will be happy to get out for today. Now I'm wondering where they are. If they'll see me, they'll probably run up to me. Ducks and food balls are quite worthless, so I'll mainly put it on the grass here, because I've always seemed to lose my food ball, and there they come. Hello, Royal. Hello, Miss Princess. I cannot do this filming and feeding. So they're eating away, and then head out here. You can see next to the fence where they've been. They usually keep the path quite open because that will be our walking way. And the ducks also prefer to walk that way, which is kind of funny. So we're heading over to the greenhouse to find Mr. Hubbard. Here we are. Don't know how y'all do that with one hand on the camera. Hello. As you can see, this guy has some trouble walking after he's been in a fight with our Hampshire rooster. But he's so nice. I mean, you can pet him. He's just so friendly, just like his brother. I mean, they're worth so much to me. He's walking a little bit better, but still has some weak legs. I gave him vitamins already. I checked his legs. I couldn't feel any fractures or dislocated joints. So I'm not sure what's up with him. I gave him extra B and D vitamins. So if you have any suggestions, leave in the comments below. He does walk, he can run behind the flock as well. But I don't want him out here when the nights can get cold. I don't want him to be out on the ground. So the greenhouse is nice and warm. So he enjoys it here. And of course, nobody steals his feed. So I come check on him twice a day with new food and water. I also give the other animals food in the afternoon. But for the free range flock, however, I have those black birds. I don't know what you call them. They're not the ravens, but the smaller ones. I have about 30 or 40 living on my neighbor's roof. So if I put food out and the animals don't eat it all in the morning, then all those birds are going to come and eat it. They can eat a bag of feed a day. I mean, it's just crazy. And we're not allowed to scare or shoot them according to our law, so that makes it hard. I've made a ton of different feeders when they can't really see the food when they're flying up. You know, when they're flying in the sky, they kind of search for food. But even those work for 2-3 days and then they figure it out and eat all the food. So I'd rather have multiple rounds of feeding my animals and making sure they eat everything than look at them. Yep, they used to be in here, so they want to get in and eat his food. That's why I keep the door shut. Yeah, you can't get in today, princess. And then they go back to their own food. They always do that. They're always trying to steal someone else's food and then head back to their own. Crazy ducks. While we're walking back, this is the asparagus bed. And there's 2 rows in here. I'll be adding 2. They're growing on that side. And then I'm adding 2 more on this side. And then next year, 2 more in the middle. So I have like a 3 years of seed in here. And I grow spinach. I don't know if you can see it. Let's go find it. There's a spinach plant in here that was doing great. But now the birds have been in here, so I can't find it anymore. Let's see if I can find it. Let me see, it was somewhere around here. I guess somebody ate it all, because it was here. Anyway, it's like a mustard spinach thing and New Zealand spinach as well, and those keep the grass out, the weeds out, and they go fine with asparagus. I didn't want to do strawberries because I already have another strawberry bed, so this works great. I can highly recommend it. And until last week there certainly was a spinach growing here, but I guess the birds must have eaten it. There are a lot of birds here. I don't really mind. There's the cat trying to chase the birds away. And over here are all fruit trees, but it's hard to see them. I'll come back to here when it's springtime. First, let's head over to the rabbits. Crazy ducks. There are the chickens out and about. I don't know where the youngsters are. Oh, they're still eating in there. But why do they always head straight for the wood chip bed? There's some dead cauliflower in there. The last freeze was just too much for them. There's garlic in there and broad beans. They're still underneath the wood chips. Well, they were a little bit above, but I don't mind the chickens being there. I like it. Oh, and those sticks behind it are grapes. We also have grapes growing on that red side of the house, this is the south side. We get some from the south side, so. And there are also grapes growing on the fence behind the pig pen, and on this fence we have raspberry, and I want all of this to be covered with edible fruit trees, fruit bushes, shrubs. So this is our raspberry. And everything that grows inside the pen will get eaten. You can see it. So, and I want to have all the land surrounded by shrubs I like blueberry bushes the most, but I want to be an edible species, so I can have a couple goats, run a fence line, and let them nibble off all the excess growth. So that's the plan. But it's a long-term thing. Right now I only have grass for cows and more cows and more cows, or 1,000 rabbits. But I'm just keeping one pair of rabbits for our own, which are right now overwintering in there. And it's a deep bottom, so I can do somewhat of a deep bedding. I know they don't build up like a lot of manure. It doesn't take much bedding to really bind those, you know, rabbit feces, but yep. I give them something to dig and they make a nice little nest in there, and I was hoping for youngsters, but the male is quite old, so I need to replace him this year. And I have a section which I can section off in the middle, so I can make 2 separate cages in case she gets babies. So, thinking ahead. I refilled all the water and I set up a lane to the area next to where they were yesterday. So it's time to let the ladies out, because they've had their breakfast and they're waiting. It's starting to rain, so hopefully I'll have a clean cow, because she's so dirty. I started cleaning out the cow stable yesterday, but there was too much to do it in one day, so obviously she always goes to the spot where it's dirty, because if you have a white cow, it's the same with having a white horse. They are always the one getting dirty. I mean, she's clean. Look at her belly. Look at your belly, Cookie. Yep, she's a clean cow. Yes, I know. I know. I know. She's empty. She needs to eat. So. Yep. So they're out on grass, and she won't make us out for the rest of the day. And she's used to getting in at about 4 o'clock. She's an early cow, but mainly because my husband used to work nights, so we would eat at around 4:30-ish. So I would get the cows in at 4, and honestly they don't mind. But when it's 4 o'clock she wants to go in. So yep. So they can have and enjoying their day. And yes, for those of you wondering, she is too big for this size pasture. And we do have a native breed which is around 1 meter in height, so a little, well, about that size I guess. But they don't produce a lot of milk. In fact, they hardly produce enough for their own calf. It's called a Dahomey cow. I'm wondering if I could crossbreed one with a bigger breed, but then the bigger breed would be so much bigger that they probably won't be able to naturally reproduce. So as for which cow I'm going for, I'm still struggling. We don't have all the breeds that you have in the US, and so far I'm not liking the Jersey. I've been to a couple Jersey cows before. They didn't look that good. They're so high in maintenance, they're so high in, you know, their mineral needs, and I'm not sure if that's the route that we want to take. Of course she's moving her butt over here every time. So I'm not sure. I want actually another breed that's about that size or maybe slightly bigger. I've considered Dexters because the neighbor has Dexters, but their milk, you know, their molecules of the milk does not rise to the top very quickly, and so it's not as, you can't preserve it as well as, for example, Jersey milk. So that's also a consideration. I of course want A2, and as I've said before, they have some Holstein, but She also has 2 other breeds, and she's mainly Jersey, which probably you can tell from the brown color. Like here, camera doesn't really pick it up, but she's not really black and white. She's more of a brownish white. But yeah, so I'm not sure. I do know that I like Bay, even though she's a bit of pig. I really like that cow. She's so friendly. She gives me joy in what I do. She always comes to greet me or see what I'm doing. And I hope she rings clean today, because if not, I'm going to like tie her up and scrub her again, which would be about the 3rd time this week. So yeah. Why she does that? Well, she digs a hole in the deep bedding and then lies down in the lower part. But usually she always, you know, drops something out of her back end before she lies down, and she always does it in the same corner. So yeah, you're a pig, Bay. You're a pig. And there's the cat chasing mice, probably. Here are our 3 little musketeers. Come show your pretty breast feathers. Look at that. It's a spotted black and white. It's hard to see from here. It's getting so pretty. There's your dad. So thank you so much for watching, and well, stay tuned. Spring is coming, although this weather and the wind of today might not give that hint, but we're getting high temperatures and it'll stick for at least until March. So we're happy. Bye bye.